Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be working on the fifth lesson in our first booklet. This one is called Place Value and Rounding with Money. Now, this lesson is a good review of some of the earlier concepts in the unit. There is not too much new information that I will be going over, but it is still a valuable lesson. Some sheets that you might want to have for this lesson are the following. Obviously, you will need to have the lesson itself, lesson 5, the worksheet that comes afterwards. In the back of your binder, I will be referencing the coins sheet. We're working with money, so again, if you struggle with the different coins and what they represent, you might want to pull this out. And I will also be using a little bit of our place value chart. So if you need to, take a second now and pull the place value chart as seen on the screen, as well as the coin reference sheet from the back of your binder, and have them next to you. Now, lesson 5, place value and rounding with money. Demonstrating our knowledge of place value and rounding accurately while using money allows us to be smarter and more effective customers. Knowledge and ability is power. So before we start, we're going to review the different place values. Example 1 asks us to circle the name of the correct place value of the underlined digit. So 25, the 5 is underlined. We need to find out what place value that is in. Now, that's where our chart comes in handy, right? It has all of our place values from the millions, from the millions all the way to the thousandths, and it will help us identify where that number 5 is. All we need to do is copy this number into the chart. Now, please note that the number 25 does not have a decimal, right? So whenever we use the chart, I always tell you, make sure that the decimal lines up. If your number doesn't have a decimal, that's okay. Just imagine that it comes at the very end. In which case, it's a little bit more clear that 25 should be just to the left of the decimal like that. So 25 is the number. They ask us to find the place value of the 5. Using this chart, we can see that that is just in the ones spot because the 5 falls in the ones column. So we're going to go here and we're just going to circle ones. 145. If you struggle to find out what place value the 4 is in, all you need to do is take 145 and copy it to your place value chart. Please remember, if there is no decimal, then pretend like the decimal just comes after everything. They ask us to find the place value of the 4. So here's the 4, and the place value is going to be the tens. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to circle tens. 12.65 is question C. They want us to find the place value of the 5. So I'm going to go to the chart. I'm going to copy 12 points, making sure that the decimal lines up. 12.65. I believe it was the 5. Yes, it was. It's the 5 that we need to find. Here is the 5, which means that our place value is the hundredths. All right, so we're going to circle the hundredths, which is right over here, and we move on. 6.40, no problem. We go to our chart and we write 6.40 so that that decimal lines up. They ask us to find what place value this 4 is. So I highlight the 4. I look at what column it is, and that is the tenths. So the answer to question D is going to be not tens, but tenths, right? Again, make sure that you're taking your time and telling the difference. The tens spot is over here. The tenths spot is over here. Now, the next review that we're going to do is the different forms of writing money. So, write each of the following amounts of money in two ways. Example A, we have a loonie, which I'm highlighting now in red. We have a dime, which I'm highlighting in pink. And we have a nickel, which I'm highlighting in blue. Now, a loonie is worth $1. A dime is worth 10 cents. And a nickel is worth 5 cents. Again, if you struggle to remember what each coin is worth, you can use your coin reference sheet to help you out. The pictures are there for this reason. Using a calculator or in your head, you can add up these three values together to get $1.15. Now, they ask us to write this in two different ways. If you remember from a couple of lessons ago, you don't have to write money as dollars. You can write it all in cents. All that you need to do is take the dollar value and times it by 100. 1.15 times 100 gives us 115, and now we're talking about cents. So this is $1.15 or 115 cents. Just as a quick note while we're here, also recall that if I wanted to go back from cents to dollars, I would do the opposite. Instead of timesing by 100, I would just have to divide by 100. Question B asks us to write 3/4 in terms of money. Now, remember that each quarter is worth 25 cents. This time, I'm just going to write it like this: 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents. Using a calculator or your head to add those together, that is going to be 25, 50, 75 cents. Another way that we could write 75 cents is $0.75. I was able to do that because I remembered that in order to get from cents to dollars, I need to divide. Whoa, I don't know what happened there. I need to divide by 100. So that all should be a nice review of some of the lessons earlier in this booklet. This final question is going to be a little bit different though. You purchase the following items, round each amount to the nearest dollar, then estimate the total. This is a very important life skill because on the fly, if you're standing in the supermarket and putting together a bunch of items, and you don't need to know the exact cost, but just around how much it is, you might want to estimate. For example, I only have a $10 bill, and I want to see if I can buy ice cream, crackers, and juice. Instead of calculating all of these numbers, what I'm going to do first in my head is I'm going to round to the nearest dollar. Please remember that rounding to the nearest dollar means that we're rounding the first number before the decimal. Let me zoom in a little bit so that we can work with this. So that means that I'm rounding the 3 on ice cream. How do I round? I look to the number after, and 9 tells the 3 to round up, making the ice cream about $4. Rounding the crackers, the 4 tells the 1 to round down, so the 1 stays the same, making the crackers about $1. Juice, the second 2 tells the first 2 to round down, making the juice about $2. And when you get good at this, you can do it quickly and on the fly. So now, all I need to do is add these numbers together and say, yeah, my bill is going to be about 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. My bill is going to be about $7. So if I have a $10 bill, yeah, I can check this out and not be in an awkward situation at the counter where I don't have enough money. It might not be exactly 7, it might be closer to $8 or closer to $6, but I have enough of a buffer that I'll be fine with my $10 bill. Okay, remember that if you have any questions to come see me, and at this point you should be flipping the page and working through the, was this lesson 5 or lesson 6? This was lesson 5, perfect. And working through the lesson 5 worksheet, place value, and rounding with money. Thank you.